Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode.
So, Mike,
How you doing, man? Everything good?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
How are you?
Excited. I'm good. I'm doing great. I'm excited.
It's been a minute.
How you feeling?
I feel great now. Little stuff.
You were under the weather for a while there.
Yeah. Yep. You know, we had to take a few weeks off, let us all heal up, and
Everybody's sick right now.
Yep. So,
No, things are good. I'm excited to get back at it. We got a good show for you today.
yes.
Tiger talk, NFL talk.
Yep.
We got a fun little top 5 list for you guys.
Yep.
Um,
Do our stud and dud at the end, and then we're also going to introduce something we're going to do for next week called This Is War.
yeah.
It's going to be a fun little draft thing we're going to do, baseball related. But we'll kind of get into that more maybe at the end.
Yeah.
a
So
little teaser.
we'll do our draft next week.
Yep. That'll be
Get
fun.
everybody's input on it. It's going to be good.
Yep.
But before we get started, last week we ended up going to Pistons game.
Yeah.
We had a whole damn row.
Yes.
I mean, there was like 13 of us, I think, that went.
Is that how many were?
I think it's something like that, 12,
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. I was trying to think, like,
I haven't been to a Pistons game in a minute.
have you been to one at LCA?
I have. That's
Okay,
all.
all
That's it. I haven't been to a Wings game at LCA.
No. Okay.
Been to a Pistons. I was
I've
that
been
one
to
again.
I've been to one other Pistons game at the LCA. I think. I don't remember because they have been bad for so long. But this is the first time I've been since they've been good, and it's a much better experience now.
And we went at the
Helps
right
win.
time. I mean, they were on. I think at the time they were going for was it 7 in a row.
Yes. Yeah, and they ended up winning.
They won.
Yeah.
It was a really good game.
Yeah. Played the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fun to watch. I was quite impressed. It was sloppy at first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seemed like it, but the game was close. Most of the game was back and forth, and in the end, Pistons pulled it off. But I don't know. What did you take from the game? Like from just watching certain players, or what? What did you take from it?
Well, it got me. I mean, I've been following the Pistons because I knew they were doing a lot better this year.
Yeah.
But man, it got me right back into kind of how my feelings were back in the early 2000s. I used to follow the Pistons all the time.
Yeah.
Always went to games and stuff when it was at the Palace.
Yep.
And it just kind of struck that back up again. So I've been watching the Pistons, not every night, but as much as I can. So it just kind of brought me back to, I kind of forgot how much I like basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But again, a lot of it comes down to the product you're putting out there on the court.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they were garbage. I mean, nobody wants to watch a season where you win 14 games.
Right.
I mean, you just don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? The product, I think, overall in the NBA, it just isn't good anymore. But I will say the Pistons do kind of they don't really follow that norm. Like they play tough, they play defense.
Yeah.
They have some guys that come off the bench and play scrappy, and they look like just a completely different team than what we've witnessed in the past.
And they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, without a complete failure.
Yeah, right.
Right now they're in the 6th spot, so they don't have to worry about the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They're I think they're a game away from the 4th spot, and they have the same wins as the team in the 5th spot, but the other team has like 3 games in hand.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so it's just kind of hard to tell, but they could get as far as the 4th spot.
I think I saw they're 2 games behind on the 4th spot.
Yeah.
So I mean that's definitely doable.
So it's great. So I'm excited to watch some Piston playoff basketball. It's going to be good.
Well, and I think, if they do end up making the playoffs, it's not going to be like you're not going to anticipate them going to and getting swept. Like you expect them to go in and compete and like make a series.
I don't see why they couldn't do what the Tigers did this year.
Sure.
Go in and win a series. Now, I don't expect them to win the finals.
Yeah.
It'd
be nice if they had Ivy for it. You know what I mean? I know he's out for the year and stuff, but
it almost seems like they're gelling better now that once Ivy went down. I mean, you hate to see
sometimes it happens. Yeah.
You hate to see it. You really don't want that to happen, but Ivy going down, I feel like this team, I mean, that's kind of right around the time that they, they're really getting on this win. I mean, they won 8 in a row, which is awesome. They lost one, they won one.
Yeah.
Right. They did lose last night, unfortunately, to the Clippers.
Yeah.
You saw.
Harden had a hot hand, I heard last night.
Yeah. But no, they're fun. They're fun to watch. I'm happy to be back watching them. Kind of back watching the Wings again too. They're putting a good product out there, but not as of lately.
Yeah,
I think they're
doing their normal March.
Right around the trade deadline, they just fall apart.
Yeah,
and I don't get how that. I don't get it. I don't get why that keeps happening to them.
I don't know if it's just a break. You know what I mean? And they're not gelling again or something. But this is kind of getting old. But yeah, what can you do?
But yeah, it was fun to get out to the Pistons game. We got to do that a lot more. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Yeah, definitely need to do that more. Brought my son and stepson too. They had a great time. So like it was good to get them out. And
your stepson was cracking me up the whole time because I sat next to him the whole game. He's hilarious. That kid is so funny.
Oh,
he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Yeah, it's fun getting them out into out in the public and stuff like that, and just getting them to experience new things. And Jackson is a little bit more raw when it comes to sports and stuff like that. He asks questions and
he was interested in the game. He wanted to know what was going on. And me, I'm like, that's perfect. I love explaining it and talking about it, right? So we had a good time hanging out at the game. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and it was cool to go with the whole group of friends.
It was.
I mean, all of us out there. It was good times.
Yeah. It's funny. My oldest son, I have to ask him. I'm like, okay, where are these guys at? Like, because he knows the NBA, he follows it like crazy. So I'm like, when I sit next to him, I'm asking him, like, hey, can you fill me in? Like, he's on the team now. Like, how's he doing this year? And so
I asked him some questions too. Yeah, because I wasn't too familiar at the time with I know Jalen Duren.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I kept seeing him. He had these wide open shots, like just two, high percentage shots. I remember I looked at Miles. I was like, why doesn't he take these shots? He's wide. He goes, you can't shoot. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, he's like, he just rebounds. I was like,
and that's what he did.
And I'm asking, the 13, 14-year-old what's going on. And it's like, man, I got to get back in it.
It's got to be his biceps, man. That dude is
he's huge. The guy is ripped.
Yeah.
But it really jump-started my love for basketball again. So now finally I get to learn the players a little bit, understanding these contracts, what they have going on.
Yeah.
It's fun. But yeah, definitely leaned on Miles for some of the action.
Yeah. And our Joey too, my cousin and friend, and
he's our in-house basketball expert.
Yeah, he can fill us in a little bit more too. But no, it was a good time. I'm glad that we got to do it. And, I hope to go again.
Yeah, we'll get back out there
for sure.
So you've been watching spring training at all? Following these Tigers?
I've been following them, but I will say I have not been able to watch him.
Well, when every game's on at 1:00 in the afternoon at work, it can be tough. And there's only 9 games scheduled to be on TV.
Yes. I flipped on Dickerson here and there, and then I've been just following the stats and certain players I've been kind of paying attention, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yesterday was exciting.
I saw
back to back to back.
Right, and you said it was 3 straight pitches.
3 straight pitches.
Wow.
So Jemai, I think I'm saying that right. Jemai Jones
hit Jamamigans. That's an inside joke. Roberto Beach State.
The taxi cab driver is so mad at us still now.
Yeah, still.
Hit a grand salami. Andy Ibanez right after him, and then Gleyber Torres right after him. So
that's cool.
Yeah, 3 straight pitches.
I'm sure that pitcher, he probably got the notice that he's like in Major League when they got the red tape on their locker that you're probably being sent down.
I mean, giving up 3 home runs back to back to back is rough, but to do it off 3 straight pitches,
man, whatever you're doing ain't working.
No, yeah, I'm sure he wasn't in the game much longer than that.
Yeah. Maybe he was trying to work out a forkball.
Yeah. But again, I mean, it's fun to watch the spring training. It's got to be tough on the coaches to kind of figure out who's playing that well. Because even me, I went through. We were talking about this. I was looking at some of our numbers. Like, okay, who can we really bring up? And it's hard. I mean, obviously the coaches and scouts know they can take a small sample size and see something. But I went through. I looked at Skubal. Right, I was looking at his whip. It's like 0.44. I'm like, damn, that's really good. Yeah. He's only pitched 5 innings.
Yep.
I mean, it might not even be a total of 5 innings, right? Same with, Olsen and these guys now. Now, Maeda, he has pitched the most out of anybody. And he's actually looking decent. Now, I know we struggled a lot with him last year.
Yeah, well, the positive thing with him, and I know the last rotation spot, and I know Job is kind of in the mix. I think Job's going to get the spot.
Yeah.
But I know it's between Maeda and Mize to get that 5th spot based on Cobb being hurt. And I was looking up, actually, Mize and Maeda. So Maeda's his fastball's hitting up to 92. Last year was 88. So that's a good sign.
Okay, so he did some work in the offseason.
Yeah, and then Mize has been hitting between 96 and 98 with his fastball, which last year and the year before, I think he was like 93 to 95, something like that. So that's a good improvement. I don't think Mize has given up a run yet. He's only pitched 5 innings too, but
these guys aren't getting much. So it's really hard.
It is
to kind of,
and I wonder, like, they don't maybe necessarily look at those numbers. Maybe they're like digging into like, okay, like I know they look at RPMs, they look at spin rate. And
it's the stuff that we can't see. With to the naked eye, right?
Yeah, they're probably looking at milestones. Like, you have to hit this milestone a number of times, and then
it's a whole analytic game, right?
Yeah,
they're going in, they're looking at arm angles, they're looking at
you're right,
spin rate on the ball,
consistency, right? And
nobody cares about the whip, nobody cares about your win loss record. I mean, the Tigers are 5-6. I don't even care about their. They could go 0-30. I don't care as long as everybody gets their work in ready for. You know what I'm saying?
They've come out injury free.
And I know they're playing a lot of guys that you never even heard of. But the one thing, I mean, we put up 17 runs yesterday. We put up 12 or 14 the other day. Mm-hmm. We're putting up high numbers. So that means at least the offense is clicking.
Yeah. No, that's a good sign.
The bats are getting there. So hopefully they just keep getting hotter and hotter and then, can level out at a decent, average. You sent that stat the other day about the batting averages per team.
Oh, how it was dropped every single year.
It was ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was trying to like dissect that. Like, okay, is it okay? You play the steroid era. You play into like, okay, are just pitchers getting better? And I think a lot of it has to do. I think it's all of that stuff.
I think I mean, you have a lot of guys where like, you're getting a strikeout or a home run.
That's it too.
I mean, so the guys are swinging for the fences, right?
Yep.
So you're going to strike out a lot more.
Yeah.
The whole pitching game is so different too, where when you can bring in a pitcher for the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, you got a fresh arm in there. I mean,
yeah.
The batters don't get a chance to see anything.
Yeah, right.
And by the time you're like, oh, okay, I got this guy timed up. Well, he's coming out, and the next reliever's coming in.
Yep.
All right. So I think it's all that, but I think they're just better. These pitchers, but they're only using them for 20 pitches.
Yeah,
like that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah. It's interesting. The thing is, you're seeing like I think their farm systems are all very deep with that now too. So like they can just kind of bring these guys up, and they all have to throw hard.
Yeah,
like that's automatic prerequisite. Like you have to throw hard.
Yeah,
like I mean, these guys are all throwing in the 90s like that. Like you take 20 years ago, like that was unheard of.
Oh yeah,
as far as the velocity goes, like it's just that's remarkable to me. But they're also dealing with like these guys like getting like Tommy John is like getting
it's so like normal.
It's so normalized now, which is crazy. So
there still is something to be. I mean, I don't think even these pitchers nowadays, when you get these specialty pitchers, they're still not as good as what it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I mean, the fact that those guys would come in, pitch complete games, almost all 30 of their starts throughout the season is insane, and have the numbers. I mean, Nolan Ryan got better as he got. Look at Justin Verlander, right? He's 42. He reminds me of those old school pitchers.
Yeah,
he's getting better as he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to see him in a Giants uniform.
Those guys get that is going to be weird. I'll tell you what though, any team he plays for, they have to have orange in it. Like it doesn't matter.
It's got to have orange. I think it's in a contract.
Yes.
I have to have orange in my team.
Yeah. No, these guys, I think they get, especially these top-notch pitchers, that they get older, I think it's more mental. Like they just know how to get like in the other person's head, and they know how like your tendencies and stuff like that.
It's not so much about velocity.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the placement, knowing the situation and how you could. I mean, these guys are smart.
Yeah, for sure. And it's changing the eye level, and as Jim Price would say, the art of pitching.
Yes, the art of pitching. Good old Jim Price. Batting third.
Rest in peace.
We'll continue to keep an eye on the Tigers, but I think so far so good.
Well, let me ask you real quick before we move on. Are you concerned with the couple of the injuries with Meadows and Veerling? Like, how do you feel about that? Like,
I'm extremely concerned. I mean, come on. Seriously, we're gonna go through another team of injuries.
Yeah, the Meadows one really scares me because it sounds like that's a nerve issue in his throwing arm, and he played one game.
Did you hear how they described it? His nerve. They're said because they're like, how long does it take to heal from that? And the doctor was saying this is so weird. They're waiting for the nerve to wake up. So they compared it to, when you hit your funny bone, you get that tingling feeling, right, and then all of a sudden you're back to normal. It's not going back to normal. That nerve is still
ringing.
Yeah,
and
that's the doctor was like, the easiest way to explain it is we're waiting for it to wake up.
Oh my God.
And there's no way to like, they obviously know a lot more than me, but like, yeah, I'm like, that's so, it was hard to wrap my head around. Like, yeah, his nerves just asleep right now.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but yeah, it's a huge, and then you make, not only that, we missed out on, not yet. It's still spring training, but we didn't sign anybody yet, like any big names. We're still trying to figure out, who's going to play third, who's going to be our shortstop.
Right. Veerling was going to be in that mix.
Veerling's hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, is Young, is it just his now? Or they need to go sign somebody. And I'm not sure who it is. There are still some guys out there. Arenado, I think, is off the table. He doesn't want to come to Detroit.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, which is a shame or whatever.
It is a shame. I can understand to an extent where these guys are like, oh, Detroit, I want to go to a winning team. Detroit's not there yet. But like, then what was last year? I think everyone's giving us it's a fluke. You guys were a fluke team last year. If we do it again this year, even win another series, maybe next year we start looking at, guys are serious about coming to Detroit.
Right. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. I'm not really sure.
But the injuries are very worrisome.
Yeah. I would agree.
But we do have a young team. So hopefully we can get somebody to,
step up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure AJ Hinch will play his chess and figure it out. I'm not too concerned with that, but just the Meadows one sucks because I was really looking forward to him.
Oh, he has so much potential.
Yeah,
so much potential.
And real quick before I wrap it up, I'm going to go out on a limb. I Javier Baez, he's going to have a better year than he did last year.
I could have a better year than he did last year.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I hope so. But yeah, that's the most I have to say. Oh, we have some visitors.
We have some visitors.
This is Callie.
Oh, yep.
Come on, girl. Come on. You were being a good girl. Lay down.
All right, come on. Let's get down.
Okay. So yeah, we'll watch the Tigers. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. It's just going to get better and better as spring training goes.
Yep.
So let's kind of move over to football. I know it's the off season, but man, rumors are flying left and right. There's almost more action going on in football right now than there is baseball, hockey, and basketball.
Yeah, well, NFL, man, NFL never sleeps. It's just always stuff going on.
Always going on.
The free agency period and all that starting to begin, and trades. And
so March 12th is when everything can happen.
Yep.
But trades are already lined up.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel going to Washington.
Yep.
I don't want to say he's huge, but it definitely makes Washington a lot better than they were.
Yeah.
I don't think Deebo is what he used to be.
No, I think that was a good. Yeah, no, he's not. He's 29.
Especially when you see only a 5th round pick.
Yeah. No, it's a good pickup for them. I don't think it really sways me anymore with them. I was worried about them, getting like a Myles Garrett or something like that.
Yeah.
But Deebo Samuel's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes too. He's always kind of in the news and the typical wide receiver drama. But that was an interesting signing. Or trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now who knows? Maybe it doesn't even go through come the 12th.
That's true. I know they got to go through physicals and all that and stuff too. But I guess with the if we're going with the Lions, I'm wondering. Oh, wait, somebody else wants to.
I know. What's your take, Callie? Okay,
it's not Stud and Dud time yet.
It's not Stud and Dud time.
Yep.
Hi, Callie. Say hi. I know. You always want to be on.
But as far as the Lions go, you got Zeitler, you got Carlton Davis floating around. Like, do we bring those guys back? Do we let them go? Like, I don't know. I think Zeitler, I don't think he's coming back. I think
No, I don't think so either.
Davis, maybe, but he's been kind of running his mouth a little bit too. Like, I don't know. So,
well, Carlton Davis, how much is he going to want? There's other guys out there, but I do think like Carlton Davis, he's not a bad signing.
Yeah.
But what about Darius Slay?
Slay.
He only wants to play for Philly or Detroit. He wants to come here. So he wants to play one more year. I think we bring him back for one more year, finish here in Detroit. You give Arnold another year, right, before he becomes CB1. Right? I don't think he's ready for that. He kind of got thrown into it last year with the injuries.
Yeah.
But I think Slade would be good, and he's going to be a little bit cheaper than Davis.
Yeah, I think Darius Slade's 34. Obviously, I don't know what his injury history has been the last couple years. I think he played all last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give him a look. I would.
Especially if he's a little cheaper than Davis.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, he probably would come here on a abbreviated deal, I guess. So
and Holmes loves 1-year deals. Loves
sure does. He
loves
sure does. He sure does. And he's already kind of openly said he would definitely come back here. So yeah, call him up. I'm sure they have. I'm sure
they're in talks. I mean, they're talking to his agent and whoever that is. Big signing yesterday, not for Detroit, but Max Crosby.
Oh, the extension. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can put that to bed.
Highest paid non-quarterback player in NFL history, $35 million a year. I think it was a $105 million contract, 90 guaranteed. We're getting closer and closer to fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL, which is
especially
wild.
With these premium positions, quarterback and defensive end. It's so crazy.
Obviously, we're not getting Max Crosby. I don't think many of us thought we would.
Yep.
But it kind of begs the question, what are these guys going to get? What do the Lions do? So we kind of talked about this. It kind of brings up Hutch, right? Mm-hmm. He's injured, broke his leg last year, all that, right? Mm-hmm. Do you go in blindly and sign Hutch right now to an extension, not knowing if he is going to be back at 100% because you're going to get him cheap right now? Well, he's probably going to get right now. I would assume you're going to probably sign him to that same deal.
Yeah.
35 a year, right? Or do you wait? Now, TJ Watt's due for a contract. Trey Hendrickson is due for a contract. Mm-hmm. So, TJ Watt, if Crosby got 35, you're thinking TJ Watt is going to get close to 40.
Yeah, and you have to...
Which is insane. So now if Hutch comes back and he is the man that we all expect him to be...
Yeah. The thing with Hutch's injury, too, it's not like it's like this injury that it's like a knee, okay? Or like it was just kind of like one of those freak accidents that he could probably come back and be even better. And I don't think it's going to be something that lingers. So and then we already saw what he was going to do last year after, even after 5 games, he was the leading defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So I think the earlier they do that, the better. And I think this kind of piggies back off of what Brad Holmes said. I don't anticipate any big signings because they do want to bring their guys back. I think they want to re-sign Kirby Joseph. He's going to be $20 million. And then Hutch, just assume Hutch is 35 to 40.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, I think they're going to prioritize that. And, maybe they look at something like, bringing a Bosa in or even Khalil Mack on a 1-year deal and hoping that you can, they still have Za'Darius. They can bring him back too. Maybe they just kind of rotate these guys in and out. And,
I agree.
Okay,
so you mentioned Joey Bosa.
Uh-huh.
He was just released.
Yep.
So he's on the market.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about him? Yay? Nay? Because there's a couple options that go here.
Yeah, I would give him a look. And I guess you would kind of have to go into it thinking, I'm like, okay, he's not gonna demand a ton of money. He's still somewhat young. I think he's still under 30, but he hasn't.
Yeah.
He's had some bad. He's had some really good years, but then he hasn't.
Yeah,
what is the most he's played in the last few years?
So in his 9 years, he's only played 3 full seasons.
Yikes! And that was probably early on in his career,
and it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
he's all over the place. Last year injured, he had 22 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Obviously he's injured.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So we got another Davenport deal, DJ Reader deal. We're going shopping at the clearance section, with injuries.
Yeah.
Is that what we want to do?
Right.
Or do you go all in on Myles Garrett?
Well, the Lions, from what I've heard, the Lions have been the most aggressive in their pursuit of Garrett, which I think helps the Lions because Garrett is probably seeing these as dude, he's probably going to go to the Browns and be like, hey, they want me. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not signing with you guys. Something's going to have to happen. So,
and there still is Cleveland could just say, tough shit. You're staying here.
Which I think they've kind of said, but who knows? Who knows?
So I think there's kind of two options here. So Joey Bosa, obviously he's up there as a good player, but I don't even think he's top 5 as a defensive end. And he's technically a linebacker.
If he could stay healthy, maybe.
If he could stay healthy, maybe. But we don't know. He's only been healthy 3 seasons out of 9. But there's a couple of things. So Joey Bosa, not to take anything away from him, right? But I think he's good enough. If you put him on the other side of the hutch, you're still better.
I'm sorry. I'm looking up. I want to look up Joey Bosa his last few years. So no, keep going. I'm sorry.
So you bring in Joey Bosa, right? You give him a decent deal, not as much, maybe 25 to 28.
Yep.
But you get to keep your 28th pick, right? So now you can bring in another defensive player, whether it's a defensive lineman, defensive end, right, to kind of help out, or you don't get Joey Bosa. You get rid of your 28th pick and you go all in after Myles Garrett.
Yeah. So here's I wanted to see what like how many as far as his games per year.
So 14 last year, which if 14 and 22 tackles and 5 sacks, that's no way. There's no way that.
I wonder if that was does that include playoffs? I don't know.
It might, but those are not good numbers. But then it was 9 games, 5 games, finally a full season.
And then what was his sack? 6. Yeah, so he hasn't. He had 12 and a half sacks his second year, and then in his 4th year he had 11 and a half sacks, and that's been pretty much it. He had 10 and a half in 2021 where he played a full season. And then the last 3 years, he played 5, 9, and 14 games.
But even look at...
So games played and games started. So he started 9 games and then played 14 this year. He got into 14. So.
Right, yeah, okay. So, but he's not starting. So, 9, 5, 4 the last 3 years. But to me, what's killing me here is these tackles.
Yeah.
17 tackles. Dude, Anzalone is getting 12 a game.
Yeah.
Right? Roquan Smith, you got Patrick Queen. These guys are getting anywhere from 8 to 20 tackles a game, and he's only I know he's not in there all the time, but to me, is that really worth it?
Yeah, right.
Is it worth going after a guy that's not going to get... I can find 22 tackles, from one of our young guys, right?
Right.
I
think it has to, if you're going to bring Bosa in, it has to be under the premonition that he's going to cycle in and out with him and Zadarius Smith. You know what I mean? Because obviously the guy can't stay healthy, but if you can bring him in as a rotational guy with Zadarius, because Zadarius is a little bit older, but if you can cycle those guys in and out, I'm okay with that, but it has to be the right price. I couldn't even tell you what that is.
So now are we doing a Tigers third base Frankenstein type thing where you're going to have Zadarius Smith coming in, then you got Joey Bosa, and then you're going to bring in this rookie that you're going to draft to kind of come in does that work? It might work.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Or
maybe.
I mean, I'm all in on Myles Garrett.
Yeah, if they could pull it off, I am too.
But we talked about this before. I don't think he's coming here.
I don't think it's.
I don't care if we're the most heaviest involved team trying to get him. I don't think he's coming here.
Yeah. The only thing that leaves me maybe a sliver of hope is because it is the Browns that we're dealing with, and they obviously don't do things the right way.
Yeah.
So I could see them finally just giving up with Garrett. Garrett maybe just does not want to be there. The one thing that was interesting I saw today is they did rework Deshaun Watson's deal again. So I don't know if they're doing that they're going to throw this massive contract extension at Myles Garrett.
And hope the money gets him to stay.
Gets him to stay, persuades him hey, we're going to try to do it. Then, but I would if I'm Myles Garrett and I only have a few years left playing at an elite level, I would want out, and Detroit would be the perfect fit. So,
all right, so
it's gonna be fun to see how that plays out.
So we didn't talk about this, but pre-show, but I want to bring it up since we're talking about this because there's a lot of wide receivers that are free agents this year. So we know we got Brown and J-Mo.
Yep.
Right. Our number 2, Tim Patrick is a free agent.
Okay.
So I would not be opposed if you go after him. But these are a couple. I'm not going to go through all these, but these are Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I heard the Seahawks are asking for a lot, but like if you kind of look through all these guys, right? Josh Reynolds, free agent again.
Yeah.
You know, but and then Tim Patrick, like I said. So just like kind of off that list. I mean, I don't think we're going to get anybody off the top, but do you think we need another receiver? I mean, I do, but I think we should draft one.
I would like, as far as those top guys, I'm looking, I see Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, none of those guys
okay, because I'll tell you right now, if this is the rank, I think these are ranked off their dollar amounts.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, washed up. Stephon Diggs, washed up.
He's a pain in the ass.
Keenan Allen, washed up. Amari Cooper, I honestly don't know enough about him. Chris Godwin, he's the best. He's the first one on that list that I would actually consider. But I don't think we did. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to bring in, you're going to have 3 number 1.5 receiver. I mean,
yeah, I would consider. I don't know how old is Tim Patrick?
Let's see, Tim Patrick. I know he's on here. I saw him. He was near the bottom of the list there. So he is 31.
Okay, I would bring him back. I felt like he was the perfect.
Yeah, and he's $1 million a year.
Yeah, I would bring him back. I would not consider any of those other guys. And you already got. You have your stud wide receiver in Amon-Ra. You have J-Mo, who really emerged last year, and then you still have Laporta, and then you don't need a big time guy as your third receiver. You bring Patrick back. He was very reliable for us. I
think so too, and I also think you pick somebody up in the draft this year.
Sure, yeah, and I think that person could be the potential replacement for J-Mo. I don't think they're going to re-sign him.
No, and that's why I bring this up, because I don't think they're going to extend. They're not extend. They're going to pick up his final year. Because why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, because he's got this year and next year, right?
They have to pick up
year 4 coming.
So they have to pick up his 5th year.
Yeah,
which I think they will. I think it's a smart choice, but I don't think they're going to sign him.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so. So that's why I'm looking through this. Do we go with one of these guys? Or do you draft somebody? I think we draft somebody. And I think that's where you go to the bottom of the list, right? We don't need a top wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're good. And you're right, because we still have Montgomery, Gibbs in the backfield. Those guys are also
pass catchers,
mini wide receivers.
Yep.
Right? And J-Mo, St. Brown, and Laporta.
Yep.
So I don't think we go after those big. Now, I honestly would bring Tim Patrick back.
I would bring him back too. I think that's a no-brainer. Cheap. He seemed to like it here, and actually he was starting to play really well, and he made some big plays. So that's all you need out of him.
Yeah, I felt like Goff and him finally kind of clicked at the end. It was almost like Goff was like, "Oh man,
yeah,
really use you."
Yeah, no, it was. I was quite impressed with him. Very reliable. I just never had any issues with him. So
yeah,
he's familiar with the guys in the system. Just bring him back. I think it's a no-brainer. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
It will be.
Yeah.
All right. So ready to move on?
I'm ready. If you are.
All right, so I'm Mike. He's Mike.
Yep.
We're gonna do
we have a lot of mics.
Today's all about the mics.
It's all about
the mics.
There's about to be a whole bunch more of us.
A lot of mics coming at you.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna do our top 5 mics.
Yes.
In sports. So the rule to this was 1 from the MLB, 1 from the NHL, 1 from the NBA, 1 from what am I missing? NFL.
Okay.
And then in other, whatever.
Yeah,
so
whatever
the 4 main sports.
Yeah.
And then whoever else you want on there. So I think it's fitting for us as we're the mics. Callie's trying to get in on it.
I think she voted for me for top mic.
Top mic. Oh, great. I don't put a roof over your head or feed you or anything.
There she is. She's trying to smooth it over.
I know.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Okay. So, all right, let's go. You want to just start baseball? That's just the first one I got on my list. All right, go ahead. You go. Give me your baseball, Mike.
I went with Mike Henneman. He was a closer for the Tigers from 87 to 95. He was actually drafted by the Tigers in, I think, 84, which is funny, the 84 draft.
Yeah.
The Tigers. He was an all-star 89. He kind of had that sidearm kind of threw the ball hard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now, okay. I knew the name. I couldn't picture his face until now you said that. Now I know who you're talking about.
When I started watching the Tigers in the early 90s, that's who I remember. Like, I remember that lineup, like, and the whole team very well, just because I was so ingrained with that team, just being so young and stuff. But he was the closer. I really enjoyed watching him pitch. So yeah, he was at the Tigers until 95. Then he got traded for Phil Nevin to the Astros. Was it? Yes, the Astros. And then he played one more year with the Rangers. And then I guess since he's retired, he's been in the Tigers organization as like a roving minor league baseball, like pitcher coach or whatever.
Okay, nice.
So that's been kind of cool. And then he actually took a job as a pitching coach for in the Cape Cod League, which I think is like a college league.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool to catch up with him. But yeah, that's my baseball guy.
Okay.
How about you?
I got Mike Trout.
Okay.
Love this guy. He is he's one of my favorite players. I think he's one of the best baseball players ever.
Yeah. Sure.
He three-time MVP of the league, 11-time All-Star, 9-time Silver Slugger, and Rookie of the Year. I just love watching this guy. I feel bad for him. I'm actually really surprised he's still an Angel. You know how many playoff games he's played in his career?
0?
3.
3?
They got swept.
Oh boy.
That's it. He's never won a playoff game.
No.
They've only played in 3 games. You feel bad for the guy. You hate to see it.
Yes. We also got to commend him for sticking with the same team. Guys will, if they don't feel like they're respected or if the organization, they'll want out. But like, you got to give him credit for sticking around.
No, he's sticking to it. They try every year. But I mean, especially for being one of the best players. So
he's one of those guys too that, like, when you look at the stats, especially the years that he's played like a whole season. I know he's had injuries and stuff. I mean, his stats are just absurd.
Yeah.
Whether it's fielding, running, throwing, hitting, everything. The guy gets on base, he draws. I mean, like,
dude, he's a stud.
He's
such a stud.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Let's see. Let's go. NBA.
NBA. All right. I got another Mike. I'm gonna go Mike James.
Mike James,
bitch. I can say that out here. Bleep that out, Mike.
Bleep that out. Yeah. We've said a lot worse on here.
We've said a lot worse. Yeah. So, he played with, do you remember he was with the 04 Pistons? He was part of the
Going
Rasheed
to work.
Wallace. Yep. Rasheed Wallace named him and Lindsey Hunter the Pit Bulls because they would come off the bench.
Yep.
Cause havoc. Played in a lot of different teams. I'm not even going to begin to name them all, and then he also played in Turkey and China.
Oh, I didn't know that
bit too. Yeah, I didn't know that until today too. But
I do. I have a basketball downstairs with his autograph on it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
that's cool.
From that 04 time, it was him, Darvin Ham.
Oh gosh,
and Duncan Darvin Ham.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember him.
I forget who the other. Ronald Dupree.
Oh gosh, wow.
Yeah. So none of the big name players, but still.
Yep.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So my NBA, I mean, it's kind of a no brainer. Michael Jordan.
Who's that?
I didn't even write down any of his accolades because everybody knows them, right? So all of it, right? One of the best, if not the best. So yeah, I went with Jordan.
He's like Prince. He's got his own logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you have your own logo, like that's how you your identity, then I think you're probably pretty good.
I did have an honorable mention for the NBA. Mike Bibby. I always like him.
Play with the Kings, right?
Yeah, the Kings. Yeah.
Yep.
So. No, but yeah, everybody knows what Jordan did. So
yeah.
All right, what do you got? NFL,
I'm going with Mike Ditka.
Oh yeah,
the Bears. Yeah, he what was he? He was a tight end in the NFL. I did not know this until I started researching him today. That he was he was drafted in '61, and he was drafted by the Bears with the 5th overall pick. He had 1,000 yards receiving in '61, and at that time they were only playing 14 games.
Yeah.
And that was before like tight ends were actually considered like pass catchers. So he was kind of like,
you're their blockers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he was kind of like how the tight ends are nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With pass catchers. And he kind of did it both, but he was a Pro Bowler 5 years in a row with the Bears. And then he went on obviously a very successful career as a coach. He won a Super Bowl as an assistant with the Cowboys. And then obviously with the 85 team, they have a song named after them. And then, he was just a fascinating guy to me. Just fascinating.
And then, just a great swag for a coach.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how old do you think he is now?
Oh my God, let's see. It's 82.
Pretty close. He's 85.
85. Okay.
I didn't think he was that old. I was like, wow.
No, I was just going back because he was a coach in 85.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking his playing years are over, so he's probably in his 40s or late 30s to 40s.
Yep.
We're in our 40s, so he's got to be close to his 80s.
Yeah. Yep.
Callie, come here. We got a crying dog over here. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. No. Sit down. All right.
Who you got?
I got fullback Mike Allstott.
Oh yeah, he was a stud.
He was a stud. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew he was good, right? Because he was kind of like the last of the fullbacks.
Yeah.
They had the NFL.com had him as the 10th, number 10 in top 10 power backs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he play his whole career with the Bucks?
I think there was one other team. It might have been all.
Okay, I was just curious.
But he was a six-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, and then obviously he won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he's a stud. He was a beast.
Oh God,
he had
to have those big shoulder pads and just like
he had in his career. Obviously, he didn't run the ball much, but I think he played 11 years and had 5,000 rushing yards.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not bad for a fullback.
No, I almost got the same birthday as me. How many years did he play? I'm curious. Okay, all Tampa basically played 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. Yeah, wow, he had 5,000 rushing yards. That's crazy. That's a lot for a fullback.
It is.
Okay, in 99, he had almost 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's insane for a running back.
Yeah, that's cool. For a fullback. Yeah, that's a
fullback. Yeah,
he was a fun player to watch.
All right, NHL.
I got Mike Vernon.
Oh yeah, Red Wing.
Yep, Red Wing from 94 to 97. Brought us our first cup in 97. And
that's right.
Yep. I know there was a lot of controversy between who should start. Was it him and Osgood? They were kind of back and forth, but he kind of took the reins, I think, in that 97 playoff run. And bless you.
Oh, geez, excuse me. Was that the time that Osgood was Osbad?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's why Vernon was getting getting the attention at the starts.
Yep. But I went with Mike Vernon.
Not a bad one.
Nope.
NHL, I went with Mike Modano.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this. Yeah, from Livonia.
Yep.
Did you know? I saw this. I don't know how true this is. Whoever comes up with these stupid stats about Michigan. Did you know Livonia was ranked Michigan's most boring city?
Poor Livonia.
Poor Livonia. At least you got Modano, right?
Yeah, yes.
But he won a cup in 99 with the Dallas Stars, played his last year with the Red Wings.
Yep.
8-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, and is 26th overall in points in the NHL.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So solid career for the guy.
You know, it's the one thing, like you and I like off camera, we'll talk about like logos and especially baseball stuff.
Yeah.
But the Minnesota North Stars, because I think he was drafted by the North Stars.
Yeah.
So he became
the
All-Stars.
Yeah.
I loved that logo. I just thought that green was so cool, and the N with the star.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was a solid logo.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that team.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
And then your other Mike that's not a top 4 sport here.
Well, not a lot of people are probably going to know who this guy is, but I'm going with Mike LaRocco. He's a former professional motocross racer. He's actually second in most starts ever in history. He raced from 88 to 2006. He was the last 500cc motocross champion because they banned that class after a while. And he actually has a jump named after him at Redbud, which is in Michigan. It's called Rocco's Leap, and it's 120 feet from lip to landing. And he was the first one to ever do it. It's
easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
But yeah, he was a stud. He was kind of like that tough guy of the sport. Like, didn't say much, but he just went to work. And he was just, he was really fun to watch. When I got into the sport, he was kind of like on the backside of his career, but he was still like always top 5. And, but he raced like 16 years, like well into his 30s. Most guys in moto, like they fall out like in their late 20s. They'll retire because they just get burnt out and get and stuff. But he raced well into his mid 30s. And so I'm giving it up to him. So yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
For my other, I went with the baddest man on the planet.
Oh boy,
Iron Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, again, he's kind of like Jordan. You don't really, everybody knows his accolades, right?
Yeah.
Youngest heavyweight champion, won all the belts, blah blah blah, all that. I love Tyson. I do. I picked him. I mean, he kind of seemed like the obvious choice, but I grew up with my uncles and my dad watching boxing.
Yeah.
We always got together for the Tyson fights.
Oh gosh.
Right. So I mean, even when he fought that kind of a joke of a fight,
you still want to see.
I still had everybody over.
You're hoping to see like a glimpse of former Tyson.
Yeah. So that's really, it's more of just kind of how my childhood was.
Yeah.
Right? My family's always been into boxing, and be able to see Iron Mike box. So I had to go with him.
His story, everybody knows his story, but his story is fascinating too. And just like with the Cuz D'Amato and just the upbringing, and
he's a fascinating person. I know he got himself into trouble and stuff, but just his whole life, his whole story, it is.
He's a cool, pretty smart guy too. He's interesting guy for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good one.
All right, so real quick, go through list your 5. Just recap your 5.
All right, so I had Mike James, Mike Ditka, Mike Verdon, Mike Henneman, and Mike LaRocco.
All right, I had Mike Trout, Michael Jordan, Mike Allstott, Mike Modano, and Mike Tyson.
Okay,
perfect. Yes,
yeah, good ones. I like it.
All right,
so we'll
close this out with
little Stud
and Dud. All right.
You want to give me your stud first?
I will give you my stud. I'm going to give my stud to the Pistons.
Okay.
Just hell of a turnaround season.
Yep.
They had the 8 in a row. They lost last night, but it's going to happen. But just the Pistons, just what they're doing this year. Bickerstaff is doing great with this team.
Yep.
Cunningham, a stud. So the whole team, you're all studs.
Yep. Yeah. Watching them last Monday, the one thing that stood out to me, I was actually watching him a lot. Was it Asar? Is that how you say it? Asar Thompson?
Yeah.
I was watching his feet. That dude is so quick.
Yeah.
And he was fun to watch, and I was quite impressed with the team as a whole. So that's a good one.
Yeah. Who do you got? Your stud.
It's funny because I actually have Cade Cunningham just because he's emerging as like an all-star.
Dude, these Pistons they're just all studs right now, right? They're hot right now.
Yeah.
Who let the Pistons get hot? I think that just needs to be Detroit's new thing. Who let these teams get hot?
The Pistons win again. No, I mean, I don't know what else you want to say about him. He's setting records and he's putting the world on notice, and
he's here. Yeah.
Really, really cool. He's arrived for sure. Or who's your dud?
I hate doing this. I hate giving duds to like hometown, but I'm giving my dud this week to the Red Wings.
Yeah, they're in their normal March
and that's what it is. And it's the 3 losses in a row. The Stadium Series was cool. It was cool to see it, but I don't care what you say about the refs, missing blatant calls because I know it was bad, but you lost 3 in a row. You were rolling there for a minute. And I just got to give it to them this week. And hopefully next week they're studs. But this week they're duds. And they just need to step it up. I mean, you're collapsing again. This is going to be the 3rd year in a row. And I don't know.
I don't think they have the playoff spot.
No, they don't. They're out. They're a game behind now, or a point or 2 behind.
Yep. Hopefully they can just snap out of it and don't let this get too out of hand like it did last year, and then they had to like really scrape by at the end just to even get back into it, and us obviously didn't. So
all right, who do you got?
I'm just going with injuries in general because
I mean, it's just the city of Detroit. Everybody's injured.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know what the Lions went through. We know what the Tigers are starting to go through right now with a couple of their key guys. And then just like okay. So I don't know, not a lot of our viewers are going to care, but I watch Supercross and motocross a lot, and their top 2, like the guys that were expected to compete for the championship, literally their top 2 guys are out for the season.
Oh, geez.
And there's a number of other guys in that sport too that are out. So it's just really kind of taken away from the sport. And then it just what bothers me with all this too is you look at the NFL too, like they want to add more games. And it's just like, this
why look at
an issue. And then in motocross they added more and more races, and it's just like it's just the greed taking over. It's just like at some point this is all going to Like
they don't care about the athletes,
No,
the one
they
that
don't.
bring them in the money and stuff. They're just like more money,
Yes.
and they don't care. And it's
more is not more sometimes. Like less is more sometimes. Like you know what I mean? And it's So the injuries to me are just, I'm so tired of it.
And it sucks. You feel bad for all these guys, no matter what sport you're playing. A motocross to hockey to football to baseball, it doesn't matter.
Right. And you look at a lot of the guys that are getting hurt. Like, I mean, especially on the football side, they're all in fantastic shape. So it's not like they're not taking care of themselves. I just think the body can only handle so much.
It's different if you and I are out there.
Right.
But these guys are in, peak condition.
I was playing beer league softball, like, then, maybe we need to freaking re-up on our Planet Fitness membership. But, quit drinking so much beer.
Well, slow down. Let's...
You're right. What am I thinking?
No. But all right, that's good. Stud and Dud.
Hold on, real quick before we do you want to should we give a little more insight to this war thing next week?
Okay, yeah. So war games are coming up.
I think we're gonna call it this means war. Yes, there you go.
So we're gonna draft each position player, a relief pitcher and a closer and a DH.
Yep.
And everything is going to be added up by total war. We can pick any player
in history. Yep. Any player.
And then we'll obviously want your input on not even just the war, but who has the better team.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll add up our war scores, see who kind of wins the draft.
Yep. So we'll do the draft live on our show. Well, not live, I guess, but on our show next week, we'll go. How many rounds will it be? 14 rounds?
Something like that. Yeah. And then we'll explain exactly what war is, because there is a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But if you know baseball, war is a highly followed stat for these guys.
Yep.
So that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. I already got players written down who I want.
Yep.
So I'm excited. So we'll do that. We'll do the draft next week.
Yep.
And then we will.
And we cannot use the same player. So if Mike takes Nolan Ryan,
we're gonna go back.
And Mike takes Nolan Ryan. I can't take him. I might have to beat him up afterwards. But
hey, well, yeah,
that's no. I'm just kidding. But anyways, we'll it'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I've been doing some research. I'm waiting. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do the draft. So that will be a big part of next show.
And we'll have to do a little wager too. Whoever comes up with the best, to do some sort of wager.
Okay,
we'll
I like that.
Little wager. Maybe the listeners can give us an idea of something we could do.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do later on. We're gonna do a couple of these like baseball drafts. I mean, clearly we're baseball fans here. Right?
Yep.
Kind of our niche, so we're gonna.
You came up with the idea of doing one for the regular season too. We have a couple ideas. We're spitballing with that, but maybe we'll have to do that one too.
Yeah, we'll get them out here. So get you guys all involved in everything too. So want your feedback. But
sure,
it was a good show.
Good show.
It was a good one.
Good chat.
Good one. Even got the dogs involved. Come here, Cat.
Yes.
Want to say goodbye to everybody?
We had our special guests.
Yep. There you go. Say goodbye. Thanks everybody for listening. We love you guys.
Yes. Cheers, y'all.
Go Detroit Sports.
Yeah.
We love everybody.
The Pistons won again.